Chålofa! What's up? This is the Islanders View podcast with the Backyard Convos. We're experiencing the backyard conversation of Islanders. It's your boy JC, B.
How's it?
And the Uso Jr.
How's it, everybody?
We're just talking about worldviews, life experiences, culture, sports. You know, we're just chilling, kicking back, speaking our minds. Yeah, you're about to go into a mind of an Islander right about now. Chålofa family, welcome to session number 27.
Yes.
We are back.
Woo, 27?
27, brother.
30,
27.
I know. We're halfway there.
Almost our 1 year too.
We're halfway there.
We're halfway there.
But hey, welcome to session number 27, family. Thank you guys for joining us. If it's your first time here again, like I always say, please subscribe. Please like the video. Please share the video with all your family and friends. Thank you guys for joining us. We have a special guest in the house.
Yes.
This time I'm not gonna introduce this person. I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to my brother Junior to go ahead and introduce this wonderful man.
Thank you, brother JC. I appreciate it. I mean, if people are looking at this sesh, it's kind of different because this is like a flagship sesh where we're trying new things, right? So
yeah.
I don't even know where to look right now.
It's a little different.
So it's a little different, but yes, we have a special guest here, and I appreciate JC allowing me to introduce this person who's special in my life, and I appreciate him coming in. He's in town for a few days, but don't do a double take. You know, we are brothers, but we're not twins. I am the oldest one.
Like, wait, hold on a second.
I am the older one. By 11 months. Yes, my mom and dad had a child after 11 months.
They couldn't wait.
They couldn't wait. But please, everybody out there, help me welcome my brother. This is a great man, Pastor Mark. So, Pastor Mark, thank you so much for joining us, brother.
Chålofa, Chålofa family.
Yes.
Chålofa, brother. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
Yes.
Such a blessing to be here. Truly blessed.
Thank you. I asked JC, I say that you would be a great person for us to interview because, not only are you a pastor, but you're a pastor in Missouri. They call it the deep heart of the what do you call it?
The gateway to the West.
Yeah, the gateway to the West, Missouri. And, finding some Islanders out there, especially a pastor who's pastoring a church. So we'd love to get your view as being an Islander pastor in Missouri.
Is it Missouri or Missouri?
It's actually misery. It's Missouri, but a nickname would be Mizzou.
Mizzou.
Yeah.
Mizzou. Well, you already got some fans. Looks like family. Marzania. Sorry if I butchered your name. I apologize.
Marzana. You forgot her name. You were singing with her last night.
Oh,
at the karaoke.
Dude, we're gonna get to the stories, but yeah, I was there for a long time last night. We had a good time.
Yeah.
My boy Junior though left me hanging.
Oh, we'll get into that story. Well, I think I had heat exhaustion. It was like 103 degrees yesterday.
Nice, but again, welcome to the show.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
It's good to have you on. We're gonna get to see everything that you've been through. What made you take that direction to be a pastor, all that good stuff. But before we do that, we're gonna get session number 27 started. You guys know how we do this.
Yes.
Today we're being a little careful today.
It's a little different today.
A little different. Go ahead, B. Tell them what we got.
Today we are highlighting the longest running company and distributor in the United States. They actually have their recipe a secret. Fun fact: McDonald's has that recipe for their soda.
Wow.
Fun fact. And also, their straws are bigger, so that you get more carbonation, and it tastes different. But we are drinking the one and only.
That makes sense.
Coca-Cola, zero sugar. Coke Zero is what they call it.
Oh, Coke Zero.
Coke Zero. There you go.
All right, so to session number 27. Let's get going. welcome again, brother.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank
All right,
you.
let's have some fun. Have some
Cheers.
good laughs.
Cheers.
Chålofa.
Cheers.
Chålofa.
Chålofa.
What's wild is that before I got here, we're eating dinner, and I told Ash I've been craving soda. I don't drink much soda, and whenever I do start drinking, it's like a snowball.
Uh-huh.
I just and it's like 3 days, especially it's like soda and chocolate. I just snowball it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm done, and I won't drink it for like a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that tasted really good.
Sorry,
It
Ash.
actually did
We
taste
started the
pretty good.
snowball. He's gonna be like, "Oh, what did you do?" He was off for like 2 months.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, there was soda in the backyard, and we had Father's Day. We grew it at the house.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of soda in the little ice chest.
Mhm.
Bunch of water. All the water was taken, and all the soda just left in there. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm craving soda." I was like, "We have soda in the dang backyard. Why not just grab it?" But, you're not thinking about it like that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but before we get to know brother Mark, just want to say some shout outs to people who are coming on. I see some people logging on to the show.
Hey.
Welcome to the show
Alright.
again. If you guys are just joining us, please subscribe, like the video,
Yes.
share the video,
Yes,
share the
please.
love. That's all we're here for.
Yes.
Just passing the love, man. So big shout out to Ken Wakin. He's on. He said,
Hey, brother
says
Ken.
Chålofa, my brothers.
Ken, he's from
Chålofa,
Ever Beach
brother.
too.
Oh yes.
Yeah, old school
Yeah.
from Ever Beach.
Ever
Ken.
Beach in his house.
Yeah, Campbell
And-
Sabers.
And then Gabriel Camacho's on.
Oh,
Chålofa.
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 Hey,
Chålofa,
thank you guys for
Gabriel.
joining us. But I'll go ahead and hand it to my brother Junior to go ahead and do the honors. Ask the first.
All right.
Oh wow.
First question. Are you in the hot seat?
Oh, we jump right into it. Right?
Jump right- Well, brother, you know me. I feel like I've known you my whole life. But I think it's time for more people to get to know you because
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna be very, very inspired by the story that he has. So the first question I'm asking is, what made you want to become a pastor and start a ministry? Because that's like a big undertaking. And it wasn't early in life. You did this at the age of, like, a lot of people want to be a pastor. They're 18, they want to be a pastor. But you were like, when were you? How old were you?
24, I think.
24, yeah. And you wanted to.
Oh no, I'm sorry. 30.
34.
I think it was
So 34.
33.
Yeah.
33.
Yeah. Basically just starting a new career at 33.
Yeah.
So what made you want to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, become a pastor and start a ministry.
Oh man, great question. Believe it or not, you probably believe it more than not, but I did not want to be a pastor.
What?
You know me and you, we were born and raised in a family that had other expectations for us.
Yes.
So, being a pastor wasn't one of them.
Right. They thought we were going to be NFL players.
Yeah.
Is that like how every Filipino is expected to be a nurse?
Yes.
Every Samoan's gonna be a
Football player.
Every Samoan should be NFL players. Yeah. So I had film on me when I was Pop Warner. I mean, we had videos and they were passing it around, but that's a whole different story. Don't worry about that. But yeah, I never wanted to be a pastor. I got into, being active in church through studying the Bible. I just got out the service, and those of you who were in the service currently or in the past, being in the service is not easy.
Yeah.
It's a whole different lifestyle, and if you are not solid in your foundation, it can lead you to very different paths.
Mm.
And I followed a very different path. And, getting out the service was a big thing for me and my family, my wife. And at that time, we had just Munchie, the eldest right now. And I really wanted to work on my family. My wife and my kids is everything to me.
Yeah.
So getting out the service, My wife, who was born and raised in the church, she had this solid foundation to fall back on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We weren't raised in the church, but my parents were good in teaching us wrong and right, good and bad. They're very, very good in teaching us those things. And when we had the opportunities to go to church, they try to keep us active. But it wasn't a foundation for us.
Right.
So we didn't really fall on that.
Mm-hmm.
My wife, being born and raised in the church, she had that foundation for us. So she started going back to church. And that was the beginning. And when I noticed there was a separation, meaning she was getting stronger and stronger and trying to stay focused on her life, on her and my daughter, and try to kind of let go of a lot of the things that we were involved in,
Mm-hmm.
and when I started to notice that, I started to miss being with them, because when they go to church, I stay home.
Right.
When they go to Bible studies, I stay home, and I'll probably be in the garage with my other brother, Peter, our other brother, just drinking and just waiting for them to come back.
Yeah.
Because we had two different paths, there was a disconnect, and it scared me. So I started going to church, and then I started studying the Bible, and then all of a sudden it happened. I fell in love. I fell in love with studying. I fell in love with God, and
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, it just happened like that. I fell in love with that, but being a pastor was never the process for me to stay in the faith. It came about by studying, and then what happened was I got to a point where I studied so much material. It was back in 2002. We moved back to Hawaii. I got baptized, and I got involved in reading all these books, and I almost felt like they ran out of books. The church ran out of books.
Really?
The Hawaii did. So all these resources that I had, I went through them, and then my question was, as I asked some of the church leaders, I said, I want to study at a higher level. I mean, and I want to get deeper into the study. Where do I go for this?
Mm-hmm.
And they recommended the seminary. Now, at that time, I had no idea what the seminary was.
Mm-hmm.
And, this is the Islanders' view. You guys are looking at me like Islanders. I probably don't know what a seminary is either.
Seminary sounds scary.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought. It sounded like the cemetery.
Yeah.
I said, why I got to go to a cemetery study about Jesus?
Yeah.
It's like university, right, for pastors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Was
like
it in
med
Australia?
school. Huh?
Was it in Australia or
No, it was in Michigan.
Michigan?
Yeah, so every denomination will have a seminary. It's like a medical school for doctors.
Mm-hmm.
When you become a doctor, you got to go to medical school. When you become a lawyer, you got to go to law school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So to be a pastor, the route through that is through the seminary. It's a graduate level school system that you study theology.
Okay.
So when I figured, okay, yeah, seminary. So when I looked in and I researched it, I thought I had to, just start all over with my schooling, because I already had a degree
Right.
in computer science and information systems.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to make money first. So this came about when, this came right in the middle of that. So when I found out I didn't have to do all that, it was a graduate level, I signed up. And then when I got into it, it was a high level of study.
Mm.
We were talking about studying resources from around the world.
Right.
And I tell you, it was wonderful. And so positions started opening up, and they started offering different positions. And so pastors became one of the pastoralship. And as I learned more about it, I truly saw myself being involved in that.
Yeah.
So
This was in Michigan?
Michigan, yeah.
So how was it? Like, you just went from Hawaii, beautiful Hawaii, wonderful, and then you moved to Michigan, negative 30-degree winters,
Right.
being an islander. How did you do that? And were there other islanders there too that you could relate to or hang out with?
Yeah, the good thing, there was other islanders, and I'm finding this out, right? Because Michigan is probably the farthest we've been,
right,
east, and yeah, there are islanders out there.
Right.
So we had Tongans and Samoans, we had Chamorros,
Mm-hmm.
They were all there. It's amazing. And then we went to different places. We find islanders.
It's like the military, right? Like we
Yeah.
talked about before.
Yeah.
Like being like, I know Brandon served in the Navy, John's in the Army. You guys always
fine.
congregate with islanders.
Yeah, even like
Yeah.
when I was in Virginia, my mom
True.
knew a couple people there, and just like, hey, your auntie's up there, just visit them and
Yeah.
they'll feed you. At that time, I was like 19, 18,
Right.
missing the food. But Pastor Mark, I did want to ask you a question. So when you said you went to seminary school, and it's like going to higher education for becoming a doctor or law school for a lawyer, when you become a doctor, you go through residency, right?
Yes.
So once you graduated seminary school, did you have to be like, I want to say like an undergrad or like a
Associate pastor or something.
yeah,
like that.
associate pastor to like your mentor, right?
Right,
Like your
right.
mentor pastor.
Yeah. So that's a great question. Some of us went that route. Others, during the schooling, they had residency.
Oh.
So I took part of the residency during the school time to hone my skills, because my background, I'm literally transferring from one career to a new career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of my classmates at that time were, they're straight from high school. They were in the undergrad, and now they're in the graduate level. So, they are working on their process. So they have experience in that. I didn't. So I jumped on every opportunity to gain some experience. So
Yeah.
I was working down at Chicago,
Hmm.
Chi-Town.
Mhm. The Windy
The Windy
City.
City.
Yeah. So I was down at Chicago, and I was preaching and working at all these different churches.
Oh, nice.
I mean, even Southside, Southside.
Oh,
Yeah.
Southside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My father-in-law's from Southside Chicago.
Oh.
Dirty South. And so I was all there. I mean, I was working with different cultures, and the Korean church, Filipino church, Southside, a black church. I mean, it was a great experience. It was like a crash course for me,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I think God wanted me to take that route.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
says, because you're kind of older in your age, and you're kind of behind, son. I'll give you a crash course on pastoralship.
Yeah.
And so, me and my family was put to the grind.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's nice. Well, speaking of that, I heard that you're a pastor for two different types of churches, two different cultures, I would say.
Yes.
One that's mostly Islanders or
Samoan church.
Samoan church, and then the other one is
English church.
English church.
Anglo. So, yeah.
So my question would be, how do you balance that? you gotta it's like you almost gotta you got some acting skills or what?
One thing that if you watch or read anything about Jesus, right? If you watch these movies
Mhm.
about his story, the greatest story ever told, and
Yes.
stuff
Yes.
like that. You see, Jesus, he always knew his crowd.
Yeah.
If he's talking about parables or stories about fish and about fishermen, he must be talking to a bunch of fishermen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always worked with the crowd. He understood his crowd,
Mhm.
and and I look at that and I apply it to my ministry.
Hmm.
I got to know my crowd. So right now, my crowd makes me very comfortable. I'm on an island view,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I can be a little bit islander. You know what I'm saying? I can hang loose a little bit
Yeah.
and just kind of share. But if you guys were a different podcast, with probably a different culture, then I would try to understand that
Yeah.
and probably speak in a different dialect or something.
Put on a different hat.
Yeah, probably wear no
Wearing a
hat.
suit.
Yeah. So for the two churches, I have it's a Samoan English church,
Hmm.
and the reason why it's Samoan English, it's Samoan base. There's 5 core families that started that church
Yeah.
when we got out there. But the base is Samoan culture, but everything is done in English.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Preaching, teaching. We do, if need be. If we have someone that comes from the community who speaks Samoan, we're prepared for that too.
Mhm.
But the idea for an Islander church was Islander base, and then start drawing in people to come worship with us in the way we worship, because people worship differently.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You know, they worship differently, and we're finding out people really enjoy the way Islanders worship,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to potluck.
Mhm.
So people would join us. They say, "Man, when is potluck? We want to be, we got this food." But then, other than that, they enjoy the way we do our music,
Right.
the way we do our services. So
That's awesome.
it's an Islander base, but we have Hispanic members,
Mm-hmm.
we have Caucasian members, we have African American members.
Oh wow.
You know, these are people who just kind of enjoy the way we do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the beauty of being an Islander. We have that family oriented,
Mhm.
loving style that a lot of people really enjoy.
Yeah, and I know.
That's right.
I mean, it's good that you said that, because, like, I mean, it's good to hear that it happens in churches when people get stationed in the islands. They want to move there and
Yeah.
retire there. You know,
That's right.
like that's why it's crazy, because they just love our culture. It's just-
Yeah. I took them yesterday to the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
Went to the Riverwalk and went on the boat, and the person who steered the boat captain, I
Mhm.
guess he was stationed in Hawaii, Schofield,
Schofield
Barracks.
Barracks.
Schofield Barracks. And he saw us. He's like, "Hey, you guys Samoans from Hawaii?" He's like, "Yeah, we're from Hawaii." Man, he just got. He's like, "Oh, I love Hawaii." You know, he's like living here in Texas, retired here, but
Yeah.
oh, I miss Hawaii. And then even when the boat took off, he's like, "Oh, I got my Hawaiian family here." Introducing us. But yeah, like Hawaii had so much of effect on him that he still talks about it today. How he hasn't been there for 20 years and he still talks about it. Or 30 years, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
around there.
30 years ago, and he still loves that place. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So what I've noticed, especially when like a lot of people that get stationed on the islands and then they come back to the States, and then they leave the service, or they're in reserve status,
Mhm.
reserve duty status. Whenever they find out or they talk to an islander, right? They always ask like, "Which island are you from?" And you say, "Oh, I'm from Guam or Hawaii,
Mhm.
or Samoa." They always leave the island with a positive feedback from
Right.
it, and I think it's because with here stateside, it's a different culture, it's a different how can I say it? What did I say? Like hospitality,
Yeah.
you know.
I
The
know
big
what
thing
you
is
mean, yeah.
hospitality, and I can understand with your church, right, being island based, you probably bring in everyone that's not from the islands. You treat them as if they're family.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
I
sir.
think that's what a lot of people look for in a church or a pastor or a congregation, is that when they step into that church, they know that they're at their home.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
That's
You
good.
know?
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's right. That is a great point.
Mhm.
Going back to our Samoan church, Samoan English church, another group of islanders we have in there is from Ponape.
Hmm.
We have a large family from Ponape. So we are from the South Pacific,
Yeah.
So, hospitality, we're born and bred in that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a great point you're saying, because that's exactly our goal, is when people walk into our church, we want to make sure that they feel so at home and so comfortable
Mhm.
that when it's time for us to do our part in either preaching or do special music,
Yeah.
our goal is to relay a message for everyone,
Yeah.
from above. But it's so hard if you're not comfortable. If you're not comfortable in a place like in any church, it's going to be hard to receive,
Yeah.
any message,
especially
the
when
music.
especially when you're saying, I want to go to church, and that's what you're expecting, to be
Exactly.
comfortable
Yeah.
and be accepted and all that.
Exactly.
That's right.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, speaking of that, what different types of islanders attend your church?
So we got Samoan. We got the Ponapeans. We got Hawaiian. Anna, Sister Anna. If you're watching, so we can give credit to Hawaiian.
Yeah. Filipinos.
We have Filipinos.
Yeah.
Filipino. My wife, beautiful wife. She's half Filipino.
What's your wife's name? Give a shout out.
Oh yes, definitely
What's going
gonna
on?
definitely shout out to my wife Sandy and to my kids. Just want to give them a little shout out. My grandkids. Love you guys all.
Well, speaking of shout outs, let's do some shout outs here. Some people logged
Yeah,
on
let's
saying
do
what's up. JL Vapor says hello. Joselle is on here. She says,
Hey.
what's up? That's my daughter. Shout out to my daughter.
JC's daughter. What's up, Steady?
Uncle Benny Perez says, half a day.
Half a day, Uncle Benny.
Yep. And then Ken Wakin says, mahalo for your selfless service to our country
Oh, yes.
and
Thank
community. He's a retired Air Force.
Oh
All right.
yes, aim high, brother.
Awesome.
Pastor Mark, I know that you said you did your seminary in Michigan. You did some residency in Chicago. And what made you want to start your church in Missouri?
Oh man, some great questions, man. So I finished my program, and now I'm actually waiting till my wife finish her program. She's a social worker,
Mm-hmm.
and
okay.
she was finishing her master's in social work.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we were waiting. So we're waiting for her to finish, and during that process, I was still being active as I could in different churches, but I was laying out and I was signing up applications here and there.
Yeah.
And you're gonna find out it's just like any career field, especially professional career field. It was tough.
Mhm.
It was tough. I was getting letters back saying, "Oh, we would love to look at you right now. We just, we have a freeze in hiring.
Yeah.
We have no positions open." So that was happening. So I was working at the university. I was their vending machine. I was the leader, filling up all the vending machines, then director, and ordering the stuff. And here I was. One day I was so broken, and I'm filling up this vending machine, and I was looking up to the Lord. I might have opened one or two items. I don't know. And I'm filling up these vending machines, and I'm asking God, really? You sent me to school here in Michigan, thousands of miles away. I left everything behind.
Mm-hmm.
I left a good career. I left everything, my family, my parents back at home. I left all that to fill up vending machines, Lord. And I'm putting this in and just trying to figure this out. It happened. What happened was it was my birthday. That weekend in February 18th. Why I say that, I don't know. If you remember me, send me a gift on February 18th. But that weekend, it was a long weekend. President's Day was on Monday. So I told my wife, I said, listen, I got the whole weekend off, even the holiday. I said, do me a favor, find a place for us to go. We were there in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of tired of school, just kind of broken a little bit. I said, find a place. Let's get away for the weekend. I said, be creative, my love, because we have already been all over this area, Chicago and all these different areas, Ohio, all the ones around Michigan. I said, be creative. Take us to a place we've never been before. Well, she found Missouri because we have an aunt who was living in Missouri.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We had an aunt who lived in Missouri. She contacted her, and I came home from work. She goes, what about Missouri? I said, wow, that's pretty creative. I said, wow. I said, and we called my aunt. We told her about the weekend. She says, come down. And we went to that weekend. My aunt was going to church. She took us to church, and this is where I met the Samoan group. They were attending this church, this specific church that they were going at in Independence, Missouri. It's right outside Kansas City. And I met all these Samoan families. We had lunch together, and then everyone I spoke to kept talking about, man, they would love to have their own church one day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even though they love their church, but I think we shared a little bit before this, there's a way Islanders worship.
That's right.
Yeah.
A little bit different. So they kept saying over and over as I talked to every family, I wish one day we can start our own church. Well, guess what my favorite class was
What's
in
that?
the seminary? Church planting.
Yeah.
That was my favorite course. The professor was a great guy, and it always interested me to maybe take that opportunity. A lot of people don't like the church plant. It requires a lot of work, and it takes a lot.
What is church planting?
Church planting is starting a new church.
Okay.
From ground zero.
Okay.
Finding your members, finding everything.
Building.
Everything.
Wow.
So people, most pastors don't like church planting. It just requires too much.
Yeah.
But for me, I always love challenges, but I just enjoyed the course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So as they were sharing that with me, I shared with my wife and I, on our way back home, she said, "What do you think about Missouri?" I said, "I like it." And then I asked her, because it's very important your wife like the same place you like, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially in your career. She said, "I love this." She goes, "Oh, wow." And then I said, "Man, they're thinking about church planting. I'm going to draw up a proposal." So I drew up a proposal and I sent it out to them, see if they're interested about moving forward about church planting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Long story short, they accepted, and here we are.
Amen.
8 years later.
How 8 years?
So
8 years later.
8 years later.
So you know how to tell short stories?
So how did you get with Oakwood in Missouri? Same.
Oh yes, Oak Grove. So
Oak Grove.
Oak Grove is the English church, the Anglo church. It's already established church. A church that's been I think they're going over 60 years.
Wow, 60 years.
Yeah, but all they needed was a pastor. Their pastor retired during the same time I was planting, and the conference just thought it'd be a good fit for me. It was in the same district,
Right.
and I could help them out and still work with the church plants.
Oh,
and
that's
then for me to be full time, meaning full time pay with benefits for my wife and kids,
Mm-hmm.
it was the best route for the conference to do with me to pastor here and do the church plant.
Okay.
So that's where they come in. But it is a good balance. I think that was one of the questions.
Yeah.
Islander church, and then we have a Anglo church. It balances very well.
So isn't it? Are you guys a church now? Are you still planting it, or is there a certain time frame where they're going to become a church?
Oh, a great question again. Islanders view, man. I'm impressed with your questions.
Maybe you should have worn the suit and worn the different.
He thought we were gonna be talking like
the SESH 27. Oh yeah. I remember a couple of SESH ago I watched. I was like, oh, easy. Wow, you guys are getting good, man. But yeah, great question. So great, I forgot.
Is it still in like a church planting phase, or
and this is church planting, right?
Okay.
There are churches out there that are still planting, maybe even 20 years later.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
To be a full church, there's requirements that need to be met. So membership, attendance, consistent attendance, and then tithing and offerings.
Okay.
All these things play into a well-rounded system for a church. So the conference doesn't really grant anyone to be a church unless you meet some of these requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's some churches out there 20 years plus and still trying.
Mm-hmm.
This is the beauty of what we planted in Missouri. It took us only 3 years.
Oh wow!
3 years. We submitted all of our things to become a church, and it was accepted. On our 4th year, we had our big celebration, and we had over like, I think about 15 churches, pastors come down from different states.
Oh wow!
To Islander churches.
Islander churches.
Yeah. So we are the only Islander church furthest west, east, than all the other Islander churches that are in California, Hawaii, Washington, even Utah. So we're the furthest. So we had all these pastors come down, all these churches, to come witness, because they wanted to see really Islander church in Missouri. And so on our 4th year we had a big celebration. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So we all know COVID hit really hard with a lot of businesses, infrastructures around the country. And our pastor shares this with us too, like the percentage of churches that close their doors. How did your church, both churches, continue to do outreach and also hold services? Was it online? Were you still doing was it parking lot services, or how did your church survive?
Yeah, just another great question. I feel like you guys downloaded these questions.
What to ask
A pastor.
I googled that.
I was ready for questions like, what are some of the menu items on your potlucks?
No, that's question number 27.
Yeah. It was a challenge for all churches at that time. For us personally, the goal was to always stay active. We knew we couldn't meet in person, but like most churches, what we did, we got Zoom, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Then we started filming live, meaning I would be at home. Our brother, our youngest brother, he's my video guy and my PA guy. So he'd be filming me at home, and we're just trying to get messages out there, sermons out there. At one time, I had my suit upper half and my pajamas bottom half, and my brother thought
the Zoom outfit.
Yeah. And my brother, he just thought it would be funny if he was just to drop the camera.
I remember that.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, I remember
Oh my
that.
god!
Yeah. The Islander church loved it.
Oh man!
My other church, they were like, "Pastor, really?" And so we were doing all that. We were doing videos, we were doing Zoom, and then we picked up. We were helping another church do their mobile pantry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we were feeding the community as they drove by, their trunks were open, and we would just load their vehicles with food. So we connected with that church, and we're connecting with them. We saw that we want to do this at our church.
Mm-hmm.
And the process is you got to be you got to be active in distributing food for at least 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So we took advantage of that. So what we did was grab food when we were allowed to pick up food, and we went and delivered to our members.
Mm-hmm.
So we went door to door, and I had everybody involved, all the family, door to door, drop off food, and we had prayer with them. So we were, during the COVID, man, we were very, very active and busy, but we understood how important that was. Good news is both churches are reopened.
That's good.
All right.
And,
Awesome.
and you know what? People came back excited.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things, and we did drive-bys. I mean, to all the listeners, not those that kind of drive-by. Spiritual drive-by. That's right. We've been like, you didn't give no offering today.
God bless you.
Check off list. No.
Spiritual drive-bys.
Oh, that's funny.
So
Nice.
we tried a lot of different things to stay active.
Nice.
So both churches, are they the same? Is it domination?
Denomination.
Yes.
Denomination.
Yes.
Both is.
Seventh-day Adventists.
I'm sorry.
Seventh-day Adventists.
Seventh-day Adventist.
Yes. So we're a Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay.
That's the name of our denominations.
And how do? I'm sorry, I haven't been on the island for a long time. How do islanders worship?
Another good question.
Yes. With that said, I'm going to invite my choir in here. Music-wise, so this is one thing that it separates our church from other churches.
Mm-hmm.
Music. I mean, we Islanders, we love music.
Yeah.
I mean, we love it so much. We when we go to people's home and sing in their karaoke, we stay there at 3 a.m.
Why you got to bring up old stuff?
Other people are sleeping, they're still singing. You know? So,
I blame that on your other brother.
so we love music. And so when we sing, so our choirs, even groups, the only way I can bring it is, we bring it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We bring it. If you see some churches, it's not a knock on any other church, but some people are very, they hold back, they're very conservative.
Yeah.
Music's always good, no matter what church you go to. Music's always good.
Always good, yeah.
But, I remember in the seminary, they showed us a video in Africa. And they showed a choir, African choir, singing traditional hymnal. And they were singing it, and they were all in the white and tie, the white shirt tie and the white dress. And they were singing it, but they looked sad.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what song it is, like Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, but they didn't look happy.
Mm-hmm.
So the professor said, watch the same group. We told them, sing in your culture, sing in your language, sing in how the way you guys sing. They showed us that same choir singing Amazing Grace in their attire, in the way they sing it. Oh, and man, I tell you, I was watching. I said, that's worship right there.
Going back to what you said earlier about feeling comfortable,
Yeah,
that's right.
They're in their own.
Yeah,
They're singing in their culture, their language. That's right.
Before we go on to the next question, let's do some shout outs. We got Brother Frank's on again.
Hey.
Said, what's up, Brother Mark? What's up, fellas?
What's up, Frankie?
We just saw Daryl in Vegas, Frank.
And then Jonathan Nalta says, we on, bros. What's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Jonathan.
Again, if you guys are just joining us, we're here with Brother Mark, Pastor Mark. We're just, getting to know him, having some fun times. If you're just joining us, please subscribe, like the video, share the love, like us Islanders always do.
Yeah. Well, I know one question that we all wanted to ask was, we heard that Spawn Breezy.
That's what this is about.
It's a jump.
So
only reason why we asked you to be.
I knew it.
No, but you have met him, right? Spawn Breezy before.
It depends now. Spawn Breezy is from the town that we currently live in, Independence, Missouri. And Spawn Breezy is a good friend of mine.
All right.
Call him Pongi. Anga Pongi. Shout out to Anga Pongi. Matter of fact, Spawn Breezy and Tanel. I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah, Tanel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spawn Breezy and Tanel is holding a little gig called The Next Big Thing in Missouri right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think tonight.
Tonight?
Saturday night.
The next big thing in Polynesian music.
Yeah,
right?
in music.
Yeah.
So people are coming to sign up, and they're singing. And Spawn Breezy and Tanel are the ones who are kind of watching, judging them.
Oh, okay.
It comes into fruition in August.
Let's go, JC. You want to go drive up there?
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
Right. August, Labor Day weekend. I said Labor Day Memorial. Which is the one in September? Or one of those weekends.
I think Labor Day.
We'll say Labor Day. Labor Day weekend, Spawn Breezy and Tanel is also holding a concert and choosing the winner for the next big thing who's going to be on his album.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Good things are happening in our community.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah, back to your question. I may know him.
I may know him.
How about the second part of the question?
Is there a second part?
Can we get him on the show?
Us up?
Oh, man.
I will put in a good word.
I will.
Plant the seed in his ear.
We'll promote his, next big thing on there.
Absolutely, right. Man. I'll definitely get a hold of him. No, for real, I would talk to him.
Awesome. That'll be awesome.
We have another guy in the same area, in the same community.
Mm-hmm.
Alo Key. You guys know Alo Key?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if you look at Alo Key, another guy who does great music, Islander music.
I think I heard of him.
Yeah.
So he too is from Independence, Missouri.
Oh, nice.
Also a good friend.
All right.
So if you guys, I'll give both of them a shout out
Oh, yeah.
for you guys.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
That'd
Good
be
people,
awesome.
really good
Isn't
people.
Soja from Missouri?
No, they're from Virginia.
I heard someone from Missouri. I forgot their names.
Is Tech 9 from Missouri?
Tech 9 is from Missouri.
You know Tech 9?
I don't know Tech 9, but my son-in-law who does HVAC, he did Tech 9's home.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Can you hook us up?
There's a story about Tech 9, right? So I was in high school. Growing up, it's not like we weren't allowed to listen to rap music, right? So it was one of my good buddies' birthday, and I was like, Mom, I need to get Fig a birthday gift. And I went into the CD store, and I saw Tech 9. I saw him. I was like, saw his little cover. I said, oh, this looks like a good one. And I just grabbed it, and I guess he listened to it. He's like, bro, what kind of music is this? Tech 9's it's a fast rap, and it's fast beat. It's different from what a lot of Texas boys listen to, So I was like, sorry, dude, I just grabbed it off the rack, my guy.
Texas, they're Pimp C,
Slow down.
Yeah.
That's Frank Guerra. That's his Texas boy right there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because Pastor Mark, the reason why I have all these questions is because being part of our media group and my church, I see the ins and outs of everything, right? And when you said church planting, I know our church planting was a big thing because during COVID, we had bought a new building. We were into it. We getting into a new building, and you said the big part of your church during COVID was staying active.
Yeah.
And I think that was a big thing that my pastor preached about or had talked to us about is when you're part of a community, especially with a church, number one thing is continue to stay active. Whether it be Zooming with like Junior, just because I can't see you doesn't mean I can't reach out to you. I have your phone number. I have your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that whenever churches opened up, some of the members didn't come back.
Yeah.
And then main thing was connecting and staying active within your community. And I think that's a big part, not only in the church, but also in life is continue to stay active with, your closest people, So a lot of my questions are coming from like being part of a media team and seeing it and also seeing a different side of another church, So
that's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Bro.
You're right. And that was the one thing that we were fearful of. People, they were waiting for that one great excuse. When it comes to church, people have probably a million excuses and why not to go to church. But now with the COVID, they had something tangible to hold on to without people not so much, not looking down on them or judging them, right?
Yeah.
Because that's one thing about making excuses and not going to church. You're just afraid that someone might judge you on something, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But when COVID hit, everybody's like, all I got to say is COVID,
Yeah.
Which is true. And listen, when people tell me they're not comfortable because of COVID, I take it too hard.
Right.
Yeah.
I take it too hard because, I went through it.
Right.
My family and I, we went through COVID.
Yeah.
We all infected.
Yeah.
So we know how it is. So I do take it to heart. So all I can do is take people's word for it.
Yeah.
But this, we were very fearful of, them using it as a tangible excuse and not to come back. So being active was to counter that and get them excited to come back.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we can do this as we're separated, man, wait till you come back in person, man. So so those are some things that we thought about as we went through the process.
Yeah.
Nice.
So was there anything, else you wanted to be before you became a pastor?
Besides an NFL player? Oh yeah, of course, of course. Like I said, being a pastor was, that's the bottom of my list. It wasn't a thing that I was hunting for.
Was it even on the list?
No, it wasn't even on the list. That's right. It
Yeah,
truly is a
different path.
calling. Truly a calling.
God
as,
put it on your list.
Yeah.
He did. Well,
but what I wanted to be, when I got out of the service, I went back to school. I went straight back to school
mm-hmm.
to get into the ITIS field.
Right.
So I got my degrees in that because it was about money.
Yeah.
When you were in the service for that long, no money. They said we give you a house and medical and everything.
Yeah.
We'll make you feel like you're good. Oh my goodness! This is any military personnel.
Right.
I mean, higher ups. Anyways,
but did you?
I was there. So, but my thing was, coming out is about making money.
Yeah.
Try to really provide. So I got into I got my degree in information systems management.
Yeah.
And I remember I was working for the post office.
That's right.
So when I got to the post office, the money in Hawaii, we get that extra 25% COLA.
Mm-hmm.
So we were making really good money. But then I got into the IT department. And one guy was retiring, and I was told, listen, you stay here. Since you have a degree, you'll work with me, and then we can plug you in. And that field was in the U.S. Postal Service was $150,000 a year. So yes, that's what. And then the calling came.
You get the calling.
Yeah.
You turned it down.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow. I guess God called you, just say no, right?
Yeah.
But I think you also had another calling when you were a kid. I remember, if I remember correctly.
I remember.
I think you had a calling of being a podcaster or a DJ, right? You want to tell that story? Shall I tell that story?
I think it's always better when the brother tells it.
Yeah. So my brother Mark, when we were kids, had this radio. You remember the radio with the cassette tape in there? My brother used to record like radio shows on this cassette. He would record it and he'd pretend that he was the DJ and doing interviews and he was like what, 9 years old at that time?
I think so.
9 years old, and he would make like full shows on these cassettes. Like, hey, you just joined the Mark show, and
Oh, wow.
Do you still have those tapes?
No. They got lost in the fire.
It's always lost in the fire, lost in the flood.
I think we recorded over it.
Yeah.
Some real music.
Some real music.
That's right. That's funny. That's true, man. KMARK.
K-Mark.
K-Mark. That's awesome. All right, so you guys know what to look up, man.
Yeah.
YouTube K-Mark. K-Mark.
Hashtag find the tapes.
So here I am living my dreams, guys. Island View, baby.
Islanders View, K-Mark.
Well, I know your boy Spawn Breezy is doing the next best thing, right? But what's the next best thing for Pastor Mark and his churches?
Oh man, just wrapping up 2021.
Yeah.
Our goal as we entered 2021, we're setting so many goals, but our biggest goal was to help us get over 2020.
Yeah.
Yes.
2020 was, a year to remember.
Yes.
It
Or
seemed like
not
it just
to.
spilled into 2021.
Yeah,
like the
right?
beginning of the
It
year.
almost
Right.
felt like that, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did.
It almost felt like that. Like, oh man, nothing has gotten better.
Mhm.
Nothing's changing. But I think things are getting better.
Yeah.
I think a sense of normalcy is slowly creeping in, and for the churches, it's happening.
Yeah.
A lot of the restrictions are being lifted, and once again, we encourage people don't put yourself at risk if you feel like
Right.
you have to come back, or take care of yourself, you and your
Yeah.
family. Make the right
Yeah.
choices for you and your family.
That's right.
But as the restrictions are being lifted, people are coming back, and they're coming back strong. So our goal is to wrap up 2021 and achieve that one big goal, was to kind of really put 2020 to rest. just put it in the back burner and forward progress.
Nice,
So
Awesome.
I forgot to tell you, JC, that my brother Mark is also a faithful.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that's a whole nother sesh. We'll have you back on the show. Oh, just one sesh talking about that. I think Brandon won't be here.
No, I won't be. No.
He's a
I
Seahawks fan.
know. We keep staring at that hat. That's so disrespectful.
See what? Hold on, because Brother Frank said it.
I know. So I was gonna.
I want to know,
Yeah.
Pastor Mark, what is the shotgun punch?
Just so you know, Brother Frank brought it up.
What's up, Frank?
So yeah, but we want you to explain it.
Oh man, a shotgun punch is simple, man. It's what saved us from being destroyed by some of the guys in the back in Guam. Yeah, it was Guam.
Yeah.
Guam. Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta talk about that offline. We'll talk about that offline.
Just kind of think about it. Yeah. We were attacked a lot in Guam.
Bye, boys.
Oh man.
Thanks, Frankie.
Let's see. There was a question I had like at the beginning of it. Here it is. So I know that churches have different mottos to go off of, and in order to outreach or to have a base in their church and the congregation.
Mm-hmm.
What do you continue, whether it be the Anglo church or your island church, what do you continue to like preach to them as far as like, so our church is build again, build together because of 2020. We're building back up, and we as a church we do it together, you know.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you continue to preach to your congregation?
Wow. Another great question. Yeah, for the past couple sessions that we have, just encouraging everybody to be that that voice of hope, that sight of faith that people are looking for. You know, so I always remind them every time we come to church, you know, it's a safe haven, and it's this real comfortable place that we want you to be. But don't neglect the fact that church is training grounds.
Yeah.
You know, we are prepping you, preparing you. You know, so if you walk out of this place blessed, comforted, you're able to overcome some of your personal struggles, then you're supposed to use that same thing that you learned that day and try to help somebody else.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's coming to church.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so that's our thing. You know, we are training our members to be disciples. So whatever you're gaining from here, take it out there, because there's somebody right now sitting at home, sitting on the side that, you know, that needs hope, that needs a sight of faith.
That's good.
So
like a beacon, right? Like a beacon of light. Be a beacon of light out there.
Absolutely. You know, and people be so surprised on how they can have an effect on someone just by saying hello.
That's right. That is right.
Just by sending a call, sending a shout out.
Yeah.
Like when, you know, like Frank and everyone else sending a shout out. Man,
Yeah.
that feels good, man.
That's right.
Yeah. Or just even calling somebody rather than just texting somebody.
Yeah.
You know, because through text, emotions and certain things can be misconstrued. But when you call somebody and you hear that person's voice on the other end, it's like, okay,
yeah,
let's really talk.
Yeah,
that's true, man.
You know, so, I mean, it's nothing like face to face, but when you can't, it's always good to call. You know,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, that's awesome. Hey, that's honestly the greatest way to end this sesh.
Yeah.
So if you guys took anything from that, what we kept saying, even in the beginning, what do we say? Share the love, right?
Yeah,
Pass the love, share the love. You know, there's like we're just talking about 2020. There's just too much negativity in the world now. We have to control it and just show love to everybody, you know?
Yes,
you are the
sir.
gift.
Yep.
That's right.
But like I said, that this is session number 27.
27.
Yes.
Brother Mark, thank you for joining us. It was
Chålofa.
awesome getting to know you. Again, if you guys just joined us, we're here with Brother Mark. Got to know him, Pastor Mark. If you're just new to the show, please subscribe, share the love again, like the video, comment down below. Again, this is session number 27. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening.
Yeah.
Chålofa,
Chålofa.
one love and God bless.
Come on now.
Yep. We love you guys. Thank you guys for all your support. One love and God bless. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, where do you think you're going? You haven't left our minds yet. Again, thanks for watching and listening. And like we say on the islands, the first time you're a guest in our home, and after that, you're family. So welcome to the family. One love and God bless. Peace.